Welcome back to the Film Room, Focused learners. I am incredibly pumped to have you here. Go ahead and imagine we're stepping right onto the turf today, because I've got my head coach hat firmly on. We are breaking down the Cambridge 9618 computer science exam exactly like a championship team reviews game tape. Our opponent for today's matchup? A highly specific, highly strategic one, binary coded decimal, or BCD. By the end of this explainer, you're going to have the exact tactical playbook you need to outsmart the exam, completely avoid the most common fumbles, and put top marks on the board. Let's get right into it. Right out of the gate, we need to look at this direct quote from the principal examiner reports. They literally state, binary coded decimal is one of the most misunderstood areas in computer science. Listen, that's a direct Scout's warning. The stakes are incredibly high here. Students consistently misread the defense on these questions, losing points that should absolutely be easy layups. But not us. We're fixing that right now by studying exactly what the examiners are actually looking for and exactly how they construct those marking rubrics. Okay, so here is the four-quarter game plan for today's explainer. First, our pregame scouting report. Second, executing the BCD playbook. Third, spotting the costly penalties. And finally, championship evaluative thinking. Quarter 1. Pre-game scouting report. Let's blow the whistle and hit the take. So let's look at the foundational architecture of BCD and what the assessment framework is really prioritizing. You know, we see candidates on tape all the time. Let's call one of them Alex. Alex plays heavy defense, memorizes the core definition that BCD represents each decimal digit with a 4-bit binary sequence, but completely lacks open-ended execution speed. Understanding that definition is literally just the starting line. The real game, that's about building a logical, structured foundation. The assessment targets 3 distinct cognitive domains: knowledge and understanding, application, and analysis. If you only memorize the definition like Alex does, you're only playing 1/3 of the game. You've got to understand the causal relationships and how BCD behaves when it's actively manipulated. Notice the clear distinction here between just passing and absolutely dominating. The data proves that candidates who rely on isolated knowledge, giving superficial, disconnected answers, score significantly lower. The examiners want to see logical, structured reasoning. The secret to unlocking those top-tier marks is integrated knowledge. Let's look at another hypothetical candidate on our tape. We'll call him Sam. Sam is a fast attacker, but to secure the win, Sam needs to reference cross-topic connections. The examiner reports explicitly highlight that linking BCD to specific hardware applications, data validation, or logic circuits achieves significantly higher marks. You have to show the examiner you see the whole field, not just one isolated play. All right, moving into quarter 2, executing the BCD playbook. Let's get our technical methodology locked in. This right here is your standardized sequence, your ultimate playbook execution for attacking complex BCD problems. When you're facing down these exam questions, you don't just panic and start writing. You execute this exact 5-step sequence. Step 1. Identify the key elements by deconstructing the prompt and extracting the relevant data. Step 2. Apply the relevant analytical principles. Step 3. Execute the analysis systematically with clear, step-by-step working. Step 4. Rigorously verify your results. And Step 5. Present it using the correct terminology and formatting. It's algorithmic thinking applied directly to your test taking. Time out. Quick whistleblow here because I need you to hear this loud and clear. If you want to stay at the top of the league table this exam season, make sure you subscribe to AC Exams and enable all notifications right now. Okay, whistle blown, back to the tape. This is a massive tactical tip straight from the examiners. Show you're working, even if your final execution is a little sloppy, or say you make a simple arithmetic error in the final seconds of the play. Method marks act as a massive safety net. The rubric literally awards marks for the process. If you followed the playbook steps and document them on your paper, the examiner can reward your step-by-step decomposition. That can save your grade even if the final answer is technically wrong. Seriously, never, ever leave the working out box empty. Quarter 3, spotting the costly penalties. Time to analyze the biggest fumbles made under pressure. We're going to pause the tape right here and run an interactive drill workshop. I want you to actively think about your own practice papers. Where do you think most students drop the easiest marks in BCD applications? Is it the conversion process? Maybe the binary addition? Take a literal second, lock in your guess, and let's spot the penalty before we reveal the definitive answers from the examiner reports. And this brilliantly illustrates the exact penalty zones that drain points from otherwise stellar papers. The top 3 mistakes are, number 1, students completely ignore overflow and edge cases during BCD arithmetic. Remember, if a 4-bit sequence exceeds 9, it is invalid in BCD. Failing to account for that is a massive penalty. Number 2, forgetting to check boundary conditions. And number 3, providing generic answers that are not specific to the context given in the question. If the prompt asks about a digital clock display or a specific financial calculation, your answer absolutely must anchor back to that real-world context. Let's see how this builds into an actionable game day strategy. The sources highly recommend using a memory hack. Create a custom mnemonic using the first letters of those key penalty zones: overflow, boundary, context. Use OBC, or honestly, whatever phrase sticks in your mind, to ensure you systematically check for them before moving to the next question. This simple cognitive trigger is going to stop you from leaving easy points on the field. Fourth quarter, the final stretch. Championship evaluative thinking. Look at the stark difference between basic execution and top-scoring execution. Basic execution simply solves the math and moves on. But to win, you have to realize the assessment framework prioritizes analytical depth over superficial breadth. Top-scoring execution means you're evaluating alternatives. You are actively considering multiple solutions. You analyze the trade-offs, like exactly why is BCD better for financial accuracy but worse for storage efficiency compared to pure binary. You acknowledge limitations, and most importantly, you justify your decisions with hard evidence. That is what true evaluative thinking looks like. To achieve that championship execution, you've got to run this final problem-solving loop. It's the deconstruct, solve, evaluate framework. Identify the given information, break the problem down into logical steps, solve it systematically, showing all that beautiful working. Then, and this is the absolute crucial evaluator step, check for reasonableness. Does your answer actually make sense in the real world? Finally, make justified recommendations based on your findings. This rigorous testing and evaluation of alternatives is exactly what the examiners are searching for to award those distinction grades. So as we wrap up this review, I leave you with this final, crucial question. Are you ready to execute the BCD playbook flawlessly? By mastering the theoretical architecture, showing your methodical working, and checking those boundary conditions, you are completely prepared to dominate this section of the paper. Practice these tactics immediately while the tape is fresh in your mind. Remember to subscribe to Ace the Exams, click that notification bell, and leave a comment down below with your current tier and your goal grade. Oh, and before you go, think about this. In a world increasingly driven by ultra-fast floating-point AI calculations, why do global banking systems still rigidly depend on the exactness of BCD? Keep that in mind the next time you check your bank balance. See you in the next explainer.